All right, collective. This is my third and final attempt. You know, trying to go about it the right way, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm exhausted, man. I'm exhausted. I'm tired of this shit, man. You know what I'm saying? I did everything I can do. This is it. Here go the final phone call, y'all. Like, you know what I'm saying? And after that, man, I'll take the law in my own hands. Y'all niggas keep fucking with me, dog. I'm gonna show you, dog. I'm not a nigga to play with, bro. You know what I'm saying? This is Divine Feminine, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Me, not you, motherfucker. Goddamn. Do your time. Turn yourselves in and do your time. Give me my shit back. You know what I'm saying? I'm not playing it. This ain't no joke situation, my nigga.
Okay, so first name Jonathan, Jonathan. Last name Phillips, Phillips.
Yes, ma'am.
Date of birth is April 18th, 1986.
Yes.
The phone number you provided is 864-362-5060. Is that a cell or a landline?
It's a cell phone, ma'am.
And what zip code are you calling from?
28645.
28645. And Jonathan, what crime are you calling to report to the FBI today?
Okay, there's a number of different things. If you would hear me out, this is my third time contacting the Federal Bureau of Investigation. As of last year, on April 18th, on my birthday, I was with a practitioner by the name of Dr. Alex Andrea Evans O'Neill, and
Can you spell that for me?
yes, ma'am, ALEX. And then it's like a hyphen and ANDREA.
So Dr. Alex ANDREA.
Yes, ma'am. And then the last name O'Neill.
ONEIL.
ONEAL.
ONEAL.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you said he was
Oh, it's a she.
where was he a doctor?
She was working at UNC healthcare in New York City Strong Hospital. She's a clinical psychologist. She was a clinical psychologist there.
I'm sorry, what did you call it? A clinical?
Yeah, clinical psychologist.
A clinical psychologist, I'm so sorry. Okay, and you said that you seen her last year on your birthday?
Yes, that's the last time there was any verbal contact. We had a whole place together and everything, and they were orchestrating like hits on me. There was a time prior to that incident on my birthday, I was out with her and I got ran up on by two big guys. I was robbed at gunpoint and stabbed on my right side. They took my wallet, they took my social security number, and I was they took my cell phone, so I didn't have anything. I was just rendered like, without any communication, and I managed to survive. I fought them. The guy pulled the gun, and for some reason he didn't shoot me. I don't know if the gun jammed or whatever, but shortly after that, when the ambulance arrived, the Dr. Alexandria Evans O'Neill is in the ambulance saying that she sprained her ankle, and then I found out that the young lady that was in the ambulance with Alex was one of the attacker's girlfriend, and they were friends on Facebook.
So one of the attacker's girlfriends was also in the ambulance?
Yes, ma'am. And while I'm stabbed and beat up, yes.
And why do you believe this would have happened to you?
This is the difficult part. There's been multiple attempts. I don't know if I know my mother's in on it because my mom was communicating with Dr. O'Neill on the morning of April 18th last year when first they attempted to poison me. The whole time I was with Dr. O'Neill, I was getting very sick. There's medical records in New York to prove that. And the morning of my birthday, before law enforcement was called on me, she attempted to poison me. I didn't want to drink what she gave me, and then she tried to get me to eat the food. I switched the plates, and she didn't want to eat. So I chose not to eat. And then knowing that I'm diagnosed with clinical bipolar 1, she bought a case of beer and was trying to get me to drink. And I felt I'm on medication. So I said, I declined. And she left, and I'm blowing her phone up. And then when she comes back, it's like 4, 5, 6 squad police cars out there. She made a false accusation of me striking her, and I didn't hit her, and they let me go. But they removed me from the house and she withheld my medication. It was cold. I was made to leave with a garbage bag, with no ID or anything. By God's grace, I was able to get back to.
So were you in a relationship with her?
Yes, I thought it was a relationship. Yes.
And you were seeing the doctor because of your clinical bipolar 1?
No, I just knew her for quite some time. I knew the person she was pretending to be for about 10 years.
So she wasn't your actual doctor that prescribed you your medicine?
No, ma'am.
Okay, and have you reported this to the police?
I did, and when I escaped, when I was able to get back on the Greyhound and get back to Georgia, I immediately made a report with Rochester Police, and they went to the scene. And this is like 4 days later, after April 18th. They went to the scene because my emotional support animal was withheld from me because I couldn't bring him on the bus, and my medication was withheld. It wasn't in the garbage bag. They wouldn't let me back onto the premises. I spoke with Officer Baca of Rochester, New York Police Department. He was in charge on
this. You spell his name for me?
Yes. I don't remember his first name, but Officer Baka.
Baka. And you said he was out of which department?
Rochester Police Department.
In Rochester, is that in Georgia?
No, that's New York City. Pardon me.
Oh, New York. Okay, New York. I'm so sorry. Okay, and you said that he is the one that helped you?
Yes, he cleared me to go ahead and he just suggested mental health services because it was very clear that I did not strike her. She said I punched her in the face. She had no bruising or anything. She disappeared for hours and came back with law enforcement. And when they arrived, they cleared me to leave. They offered me mental health treatment, and I just told them that's fine. I got to the hospital because prior to Alex calling the police, she sicked my own emotional support animal on me, and I was bit on my right arm. So that's what I was treated for at the hospital.
So did you get any mental health services while you were there also, or just treated for the bite?
Just treated for the bite. And that's the thing, ma'am. May I note that my condition is being strategically used against me to justify this psychological, physical abuse, these attacks that keep happening.
Okay, you're saying that you haven't. Have you had anything from have you spoken to her since then, or are you?
No, ma'am. And please note this: the morning that I was falsely accused, the attempt to frame me, she was on the phone with my mother, and these are words from Officer Baca. He said that my phone was retrieved, buried in the backyard under rubbish, and I had no missed calls from my mother, but my mom was on the phone with Alex while she was calling the police, after she called the police. That's dope.
So who do you think took your phone and buried it in the backyard?
It was Alex, Dr. O'Neill.
And was it her backyard? Was your mom's backyard?
Oh, this was Rochester. My mother lives in Georgia, and the place I couldn't get on the lease because I am currently doing probation. I'm going to get off in July, but that's the reason that they used to not let me on the lease. But I was contributing. We did share the place, and I had mail coming there and everything. But just because I wasn't on the lease.
What are you on probation for, Jonathan?
There was an incident where a young lady I was getting out of a relationship with, she weaponized a restraining order. She basically put a restraining order on me. I followed every rule and regulation, and then I still got ran up on. Like she made an accusation about me doing this the same thing over and over. I hit them, and at the time I was a healthcare professional, patient care technician for 7 years, at working at Emory Hospital, doing really good, about to go to nursing school, and I was just cut down abruptly. And because of COVID, they held me in there, and for 6 months without any without due diligence, nothing, just railroaded me with no prior criminal history other than being late for child support. No violent criminal, no nothing. First offense, and it was a frame up.
So it was because of past child support, you said?
Yeah, that was it. Traffic infractions, minor traffic violations, and being late for child support. That's the only crimes I've ever committed.
And that's why you lost that job?
Yes, they couldn't hold it, and then that's when COVID hit. So I was stuck. There was no jury, no due process, no nothing.
Okay. All right. So I have everything documented here. You said that it was Dr. Alex Andrea O'Neill.
Evans O'Neill.
She used to work at the. What was it?
Dr. Alex Andrea
Did I say it wrong?
Evans O'Neill. And may
I know, like a hyphen in between there?
Yes, and may I also note that when I first met Alex, she did not have the O'Neill on her last name. So I honestly believe that she is married to someone, and whoever she's married to, that person was coming for me in Rochester, New York, because shortly after I got on the Greyhound, whoever this person she's dealing with was, when I contacted Rochester Police to go do a welfare check on my emotional support animal, they sweep the block. The neighbor said that she abruptly moved and she had an older man with her.
Okay, so you believe she is married now?
Yes.
Okay, and is she still in Rochester? You said that she used to be a clinical psychologist, but you don't believe that she's at the UHN healthcare anymore. What was the name of that? Was it
Strong Hospital in Rochester.
What was the abbreviations that you gave me? There were three letters.
Yes, ma'am. It was Dr. Alex, ALEX, and then the hyphen, Andrea, ANDREA, and then the Evans, that was her original last name, EVANS, and then we got O'Neill, ONEAL.
Okay, ONEAL. But what hospital did you say she worked at, that healthcare? You said it was a UHN?
Oh, Strong, UNC Strong, capital UNC Strong Hospital.
UNC Strong.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And Jonathan, can I have your address of where you're at?
Yes. It is. I'm staying. It's like undisclosed location, so and I didn't feel safe. So I'm in North Carolina, and you mind? I'm gonna ask the landlord if she minds if I give the address. Is it mandatory?
Okay. No, you can decline. You don't have to give it to me. It's just for our report on our end.
Okay, yeah, because she doesn't feel comfortable. She's also been experiencing some hacking and stuff, and that's why I was calling you too, because my phone was hacked this morning, and I don't feel safe because the hacking. I screenshotted it, and it says, "Allow this phone to be located when not in use." And ma'am, my phone service is not even on. I'm using the Text Me app.
Okay. So for like any type of like hacking or anything like that you're experiencing, you can actually go to the website ic3.gov and fill out a report.
I did it. I called. I did everything online. And the second time I called you guys, I asked them specifically. I said, "Can you pull up the prior report?" And he said there was nothing in the system. And I'm like, I recorded the phone call, the first phone call I made initially, shortly after this all happened. And he said it wasn't in there. So the whole time I'm thinking they're investigating, and he said it's not in there.
So for IC3, we don't have access to see that, but you can actually go on there. You should have gotten, like, after you filed the report, you should have gotten, like, some type of, like, confirmation number that it went through.
Okay, I don't think I got that. I just made one recently for my mother too.
number at the end of it whenever you filed it. That's how you know that it went through.
Okay.
But we can't. This is just National Threat Operations Center. We just intake your information here and document it on our end. We can't comment or speak on the investigative side.
Okay.
But I do have everything documented here. If you haven't heard anything else from like the police on anything like your police report that you filed on Dr. Alexandria Evans O'Neill, I would definitely reach out to them, make sure everything's still if you're trying to like press any charges or anything like that, definitely still try to reach with your local police.
Can I?
But like I said, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. I just want you to know also that when Officer Baca cleared me to leave the scene, he made me aware that 3 months later, the charge that they tried to frame me for was pushed through. 3 months after they went to the magistrate, she's in I don't want to sound outrageous, but she is in a clique, like a coven. And she's told me before that she has people in high positions of authority, and she said it in such a way that was very smug. And now here I am going through this. So it's like what she might know people up there, and her adopted parents are Freemasons, and she just seems to skate and get away. I exhausted every effort to get some kind of justice, and they're still after me. And it's like, what do I do? I can't legally have a firearm to protect myself. So I'm just a little concerned.
Right. I mean, if you definitely feel like your life is in immediate danger at any point, definitely call 911. They're going to be your first responders. They would be able to get to you faster. So if you do feel like your life is in danger, call 911, because they would be the ones that would have to respond to that.
Okay, it's because of the hacking too. Like, I've been trying to mind my business and continue on with my mental health, but this is kind of getting ridiculous. And I just want to note to you that my mother is still in contact with this crooked practitioner, and I think my mother may have a life insurance policy on me, because shortly prior to me fleeing Georgia, my mom was being very I've never witnessed any behavior from her like that. Like, she literally didn't let me eat, didn't let me cook anything, and I had to go back to her house after I left Rochester, New York. So I'm finding that I was maneuvered into a vulnerable position so that I can be monitored and surveilled, and I was being followed while I was in Georgia as well.
And also, Jonathan, you had mentioned that you was diagnosed with clinical bipolar 1. Are you on your medicine now? Like, have you gotten it back?
Yes, ma'am. I just recently emerged from rehab for the third time, just to make sure I'm not crazy. Like, it's like, I know this sounds outrageous, but that's what they want everyone to think. So I went specifically for that reason. I spent a week in there, and the doctors, nurses, therapists, they cleared me. I have a mood disorder. I'm not insane or psychotic or delusional. I'm going off of the experiences and the attacks and the patterns that's been going on.
Okay, Jonathan. I said, I do have everything documented.
One more thing. I'm sorry. I just want to get it all, just in case anything happens to me. You know what I mean? I want everything documented. I appreciate your time. One more thing. There was
do you feel like, are you okay? Do you feel like you're no suicidal thoughts or anything like that?
No, ma'am. No, absolutely not.
Okay.
I'm just it's frustrating, this whole thing. Okay, just one more thing. This is a federal crime. The address that my mail was sent to, there was a letter sent from some government, some letter from New York that was sent to the mailing address, which is my auntie, Loxola Phillips. My mail was intercepted. I was not made aware of this. My mother retrieved this letter, whatever this government document was that came from New York City. My mother retrieved it, and she admitted it, and I have it recorded. And I'm just keeping it to use it as evidence. I never received word of it until she said something about it, and shortly after that, that's when the attacks on my life got very aggressive. So I don't know if they're trying to off me for an insurance policy. I don't know, some secret society. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world. So I just wanted to get that out there, that my mail was intercepted.
Okay, so for any kind of mail fraud or mail theft, you can actually report that to the U.S. Postal Inspectors.
Okay.
I can give you a phone number, or I can give you a URL for you to go on and file that report as well for any type of mail theft.
Okay, please do. What is that?
Would you like the phone number
Yeah.
or the
I'm
URL?
ready. The phone number.
Okay, the phone number is 1-877 876
Yeah.
2455.
Okay. And I can make that.
Okay, Jonathan, I do have all your information properly documented here. Like I said, if you feel like your life's in immediate danger, call 911. If you want to go ahead and try filing that IC3 report again for the hacking on your phone, definitely do that and reach out to the U.S. Postal inspectors for the mail theft, okay?
Okay, ma'am. And may I ask your name?
All right. I can give you my operator ID number. It's 9984.
9984. And okay, so I just want to. You said once the report is made, like if I have to call again, are they not able to pull it up and get the history of the reports that I've been making?
No, you can. If you like anything that you called in to talk to us, you can. There is something here that you can reach out to get all of it. You can request it. It's Freedom of Information Act. It's called FOIA. And you can call them and you can request any of your access to the federal records. Like anytime you called us, you can submit a request for that.
Okay. And was I thorough in giving you all the information I can possibly give you to support, what's going
Yep.
on? Okay.
Yep, I do have all your information documented here on our end, and I appreciate you for calling the FBI, okay?
Absolutely. I appreciate you very much for your time. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too.
All right. Anybody that's involved, man, yo, our angels, my deities, bro, fire got bun.